Today on the Sartorial Chef, we are going Irish breakfast that is. It is my hangover cure-all food, and I am kicking that off with a homemade Irish soda bread. Next, I'm grilling up some sausages and some tomatoes in my lovely little grill pan. Following that is our main course, Irish breakfast. It's stewed beans I'm making American style, and poaching a few eggs inside. And last but not least, it's Irish coffee. Can't have Irish breakfast without Irish coffee, so why don't you pull up a chair and dine with me?
We are at the store. I am picking up some items to do a Irish breakfast for my friend Kim. So St. Patrick's Day is a big drinking day. And the day after, a big hangover day. So I am planning a huge hangover cure feast. And I just need to pick up a few things for the meal. Guys, that was my produce. Now I just need some protein. I'm picking up some smoked sausage, and I need some bacon for the beans. And my friend Kim should already have everything else on hand. So I will see you in the kitchen. Welcome back, everybody. So we're at my friend Kim's, and it is brunch time. Like I said, it's going to be a huge brunch breakfast. This is hangover cure food. St. Patrick's Day is a big day for drinking. And the day after is a big day for nursing the body after a big day of drinking. But this menu is going to fix us right up. So I am just working on my bread to start with. It's an Irish soda bread. And why I love this recipe, you don't have to mess with yeast. There are not a lot of breads where you don't have to mess with yeast. This is a very simple bread. You throw it together. It cooks for about 45 minutes. You can get the rest of your meal fixed and you're good to go. So that is 4 cups of flour. That's a lot, but this is going to be a huge loaf of bread. Now the rest of our dry ingredients, some baking soda. I need a teaspoon of that. I'm going to throw that right in. That's our leavener. That's going to rise our cake as we rise from the ashes of our night of drinking. And for some sweetness, I got some sugar here. I need 4 tablespoons of sugar. And she's got the good sugar, guys, so we're going to live it up. And last but not least, our salt. I just need, I'm going to eyeball this. I just need about a teaspoon. It's just for flavor. And I'm just going to kind of move that around a little bit. Get those ingredients kind of incorporated. And then we'll move on to my butter. I'm going to set this here. Butter, I need a half a stick of butter, 4 tablespoons. Make sure it is cold butter. This is not cakes or cookies or anything like that. This is a bread, so we need nice cold butter. I'm just going to dice that into chunks. I don't want to go too small because the butter starts to melt like the minute you take it out. And you want it to be kind of firm because that's going to help set up our bread dough. And that's going to go right in. And then we're just going to give that a mix until the butter is all incorporated. Okay, so I'm just kind of working this butter in. I've got a little whisk here. I don't want to use the stand mixer because I don't want to like over develop the flour. That's going to give us a really chewy product. But I think that's pretty good. So we're going to start moving on to our wet ingredients. First is an orange here. I want the zest and the juice. So the recipe really calls for buttermilk, but I didn't want to buy a whole thing of buttermilk just for 1.5 cups. And buttermilk basically is just milk that has been curdled with citrus. So I'm going to juice this orange. That's going to give us the rest of our liquid. And the buttermilk's really just for flavor. It gives you that kind of tang. I mean, it's the moisture too, so you don't have like a really dry, kind of dense bread. But this is going to work out just fine. And I love orange. We're going to have some cranberries in here too, and orange and cranberry go beautifully together. Okay, so I'm just zesting this orange. I think that's pretty good. You don't want too much zest, just enough to kind of give it that kick. It adds a nice kind of floral quality. And then we always check the back of our zester because we have some stragglers. Just going to drop that right in. And to that, I have 1 egg. And I just want to go really careful here and watch for eggshells. There we go. And last but not least of our wet ingredients is our milk. And she's fancy again. She's got the oat milk. So that's going to give us a little extra flavor. How about that? So I just need 1.5 cups here. Now, if you're doing the buttermilk, it's 1 3/4 cup, but I'm replacing part of the liquid here with my orange. So I'm just doing a little less of the milk, and then I'm going to juice the orange, and that's going to give us the rest of our liquid. Alright, now I'm just going to come in here and double fist this orange and just get all that juice in there. Get as much as you can. Another trick, you can come in here with your whisk and kind of dig into that pulp, and you'll see you're getting more juice out. If you don't have a juicer, if you have a juicer, I mean obviously that's faster, but you know me, I like to keep it simple. Okay, that's pretty good. So then we're just going to come in and give this all a whisk. Break up that egg yolk and incorporate all of our ingredients. Now it's time to get our hands dirty, guys. I've mixed about as much as I can. We're going to come in here with some clean hands.
I got wax paper if you wanted to put.
And we're just going to come in here and finish incorporating our ingredients. Okay, now to finish off our bread, I've got some dried cranberries here, about a 1/2 cup or so, and I'm just going to fold that in. And you can do any kind of dried fruit you want, or nuts even. It's going to give a nice burst of this kind of tartness, acidity. And this is just a great bread. It's great for like breakfast, kind of brunch. And it's going to be really hearty and really filling, and it's going to go great with the rest of our meal. Okay guys, so I've got a baking dish here. That's another thing that makes this bread a little different, is you don't do it in a traditional loaf pan. You do it on a baking sheet, and just kind of a round circular kind of fashion there, and then I'm just going to score it here, a line here and a line here. That's going to make sure that it cooks evenly. And that's going to go in the oven here. I have already preheated this to 375. It's going to cook for about 45 to 55 minutes, which is going to give us plenty of time to work on our beans and other proteins. Okay, so our bread is baking. I can almost kind of smell it, guys. It's so great. So I'm going to move on to some veg for our beans. So basically an Irish breakfast, it's a lot of things. It's like a huge, it's almost like a cowboy breakfast. There's a lot going on. So basically they do baked beans. Now see, here in America in the South, baked beans is like a side dish. It's a like barbecue kind of thing. This is breakfast for them, and they stew the beans, and I'm going to Americanize it a little bit. I'm going to cook beans like I would any other time, and I'm going to jazz them up here. I got an onion, I've got some pepper, I've got some bacon. We're going to get that rendering down. It's going to be amazing. Just dicing the onion here. This is just a medium yellow onion, Spanish onion. I'm doing my veggies first. I'll do my bacon last so I can avoid cross-contamination on my cutting board here. And then my pepper. I just like to run along the top and then you can kind of come in there with your knife and pull the whole thing out. Voila. And then if you get a little smack, all the seeds come out. And there you have it. Now this I'm gonna kind of I'm gonna cut it in strips and then I'm gonna dice it as well. I want everything to be roughly the same size so it all cooks the same. Okay, there's our veg. Now it's time for some bacon. And this is some good bacon here. This is smoked bacon. I only need about half of this container. Or, I don't know, about 4 or 5 slices. Just enough. And the bacon is going to add a nice salt component. It's going to give us some texture. I love just biting into some nice crispy bacon. And the fat's going to give some nice flavor to our beans as well. So I'm just going to pull out, yeah, about half this container, 4 slices or so. Alright, switching up knives here. We're just going to come in at this bacon here. I've got about 4 slices here. I'm just going to kind of come down the middle. Bacon has a lot of fat in it, so you need a good sharp knife to get through all of that. And then we'll just come through here and nice chunks, about the same size as our veggies, because I want everything to cook the same. Bacon, again, because of the fat, it takes a little while for that bacon to cook through and that fat to render down. Okay, and we are ready for the skillet. I'm going to slide in the bacon first. It's going to take longer to cook than the veggies. And what's great about this cutting board, you can kind of pull it apart here and you've got a nice little hole to slide everything through. Okay guys, my bacon has started to render down nicely. I'm going to throw in the rest of my veg and I'm just going to let that cook down. And the onion and pepper, they're going to really take on the flavors of this bacon. It's just going to be so luscious. And I'm going to go ahead and do some seasoning here. Some salt. The bacon's a little salty. I just want to add a little salt to the veggies. That's also going to help them break down and cook faster. And then some pepper here. I always use salt and pepper. Just enough to give it some kick. And then I'm just going to give that a little stir. We're going to let those onions and peppers cook down, and once they're cooked through, we'll throw in my beans. We'll doctor those up and we'll be good to go. Okay, so you can see all of our veg and everything has cooked down beautifully. I'm going to throw my beans in now. I'm going to go ahead and turn this, the heat down on this just a little. I don't want our beans to burn. I'm just going to kind of stir those around, mix in the bacon and the onions and the peppers. Now again, I'm Americanizing these beans. They do them a little different in Ireland, but stick with what you know, right? So to flavor these beans, I got some ketchup here. About a couple tablespoons of ketchup. Okay, so the ketchup, it gives us a nice kind of tomato flavor, and then you have the vinegar in it as well, which gives us some acidity. We also have some brown sugar here, and again, just a couple tablespoons of this. It's going to give a little sweetness. It's going to add some richness to our sauce. Okay, and then we need a few dashes of Worcestershire here. That's going to really add some nice rich flavors to this. And then just give everything a stir. And then we're just going to let these beans cook down, and then when they start getting nice and tender, we're going to throw our eggs in. I'm going to cook the eggs right in these beans. I'm just going to crack them right in. We'll put a lid on it. They're going to poach and just be nice and bubbly. And then we'll cut into that yolk and it'll ooze all over our beans. It'll be so good, guys. Okay guys, so for the last part of our meal, tomatoes and sausages. They're kind of served like a side. I've got a little grill pan set up, and we're just gonna give these a nice sear. Now I'm leaving the tomatoes whole, just nice big hunks of tomato. And I just want to kind of blot these a little bit. They have a lot of moisture and I want them to get a good sear on them in my skillet, so I'm just going to kind of blot these dry a little bit. I've already sprayed the grill pan with some nonstick spray to keep these from sticking. And then I've got some olive oil. I'm just going to drizzle these with a little olive oil, some salt and pepper. That's all you need, and just let them get a hard sear on there. And then our sausages. I splurged and got us some really good sausage here. It's got some cheese in it. You can never get wrong with cheese. And some other fun kind of seasonings here. And again, I do the tomatoes first to avoid cross-contamination. I'm not going to chop these up. I'm going to leave them whole. These are lengths. And then they're just going to go straight onto our grill pan. Okay. Guys, beans look great. Now for the last ingredient, per se, to our beans, eggs. I'm just going to come in right over top. And what's great, the eggs, the white of the eggs are going to take on the flavor of those beans. Nice, good flavor. And then the yolk. I want the yolk to be nice and full still so we can cut into it. And that egg is just going to ooze all over our beans and it's just going to be so decadent. Now I'm going to season this one more time. Just to get our eggs a little seasoning here. Just a little salt. Just a pinch. And some more pepper here. Again, just a pinch. And then I've got a lid here. I'm going to cover these. I want to trap that steam. That steam's going to cause the tops of the eggs to cook through. And then we will move on to our sides. Alright, I'm just going to dress these tomatoes with a little oil. That's going to also help caramelize them. I'm just going to drop just a little on top. And just kind of rub that over, and then come in on the other side here. Beautiful, and then we just need a little salt and pepper for that, and we'll be good. I'm going to go ahead and throw my sausages on. They're going to take a little longer to cook. Pork is one of those proteins you have to cook through. It's not like steaks or that can be medium rare. They have to be cooked through. You need that 165 temperature to stay out of the danger zone. So I'm going to let those sear. I think when I turn them over, we'll get our tomatoes started. Our eggs are poaching beautifully. And then we'll be ready to pull our bread out. Guys, we're so close. I can taste it. Okay, ready to turn this sausage. I want color on all sides, so I'm going to turn these over. And then I'm going to throw my tomatoes on. Listen to that sizzle. I love when my food speaks to me. You know it's going to be delicious. And the eggs, I'm going to turn those off. Our eggs and our beans, they should be good. Look at that. And you got that yolk. That yolk, you can tell, is still going to be nice and runny. And it is time to pull our bread out. Let's give it a little look here. Guys, is that not perfect or what? And you can see how it's cooked through from me scoring it. And you just get that beautiful aroma of the orange zest. I know you guys can't, but trust me, it's there and it is fabulous. Okay guys, everything is done. Now this is a dish that is normally served family style, so I'm bringing everything over here. My eggs, my meat and my tomatoes. It smells heavenly. And then my bread, I've already kind of pre-sliced a few slices for us, and you can see those cross sections and the cran raisins on top. But we can't have breakfast without coffee, so I'm about to introduce you to my friend Kim. She's going to demo some Irish coffees for us.
Irish coffee, you just add some Baileys.
Right.
That's pretty much it.
Well,
but I don't add too much
like
because it gives it too much of a
yeah, I just like it crisp,
yeah,
just enough that you know it's there. And you can't have an Irish breakfast without
right.
Irish coffee.
And I still add just a little bit of sugar.
You gotta have some sugar. Yes.
And I don't think it would be too wrong to add a little creamer too.
Coffee and creamer.
Yep.
Absolutely. Although there's not much room in these cups. Rudy.
Yeah, that'd be right. There we go.
Awesome. So, guys, I think we're ready. We just need some plates. Dig in.
Cheers.
I'm going to come in for the main course first, guys. I'm going to get a nice little bite of everything, cut into that egg, and just kind of let it run over.
It's a perfectly poached egg, actually.
Yeah. And you know what? You get that barbecue flavor. The egg plays nicely with it. It really does. It is a nice canvas for those flavors. You get the smokiness from the bacon, the saltiness. The beans. A lot of people don't realize beans are protein. So this is a very protein heavy meal. We got some veg to hydrate us, some bread to soak up the liquor. So it's a perfect hangover cure meal. The sausage, I want to try some of the sausage too.
I'm putting the hangover cure meal to the test here.
Nice and juicy. Now this tomato, this grilled tomato, I'm really excited about that. It's nice and tender.
I've never thought about just
But
grilling
you,
tomato. That was good.
It adds a depth of flavor to it because you get that kind of smoke flavor from the grill and you get those char marks. It just does something else to it. Just a little salt and pepper on that, that's all you need. Now the piece de resistance, this homemade bread. Oh my gosh, guys. You can hear the bread. It's nice and hard on the outside, so you get that crunch, and it's just nice and soft on the inside.
And I really like the orange zest in it.
It gives it just a hint. It's not too strong. It's just enough to kind of elevate it to something else.
Yeah, that orange is perfect in it.
Yeah. And what is breakfast without coffee?
Cheers.
Irish coffee. Cheers. To getting rid of hangovers.
It's working already. I was hungry.
Just enough Bailey's that you know it's there, but it doesn't overtake the whole coffee. You still get that rich coffee flavor. So guys, I'm gonna sign off here. We're gonna finish up our meal and I will see you next time.